So I'm here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and staying at the Smokemont Campground, and I'm spending some time with other YouTube creators, and I have a YouTube creator here. Why don't you state your name, your channel, and tell us a little bit about your channel?
Sure. Well, hi John. Hi everybody. My name is Jennifer. My channel is Jennifer Lupine, and I live near Seattle in Washington. My channel is basically based in Washington, and I hike every week. At least I try to, once a week. And so my channel is based on day hiking, backpacking when I can do that during the summer. I really like to include nature and flowers and birds and anything I happen to see along the trail. And the goal of my channel is to support other people hiking and other people getting out into nature.
Oh, wonderful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions.
All right.
They're just going to be some general basic questions.
Okay, is there a right answer?
It's no.
True or false?
And so, all right. So what do you prefer to snack on? Crunchy Cheetos or puffy Cheetos?
Personally, I like crunchy Cheetos.
It's all right. I don't know if you eat potato products, but do you prefer French fries or waffle fries?
Ooh, waffle fries. Chick-fil-A, waffle fries.
Okay. If you're having fast food, McDonald's or Burger King?
You can go.
If I'm going fast food, it would probably be, can I say Wendy's?
Yeah, you can say.
Wendy's has a really nice healthy salad, and so I would go to Wendy's and get a salad.
Nice. I'm trying to think here. Coffee or tea?
I don't drink coffee, but I do drink tea. I like cold tea and hot tea. When I'm backpacking, I'll bring little tea bags for hot tea.
Nice. So I'm going to ask you some questions now about your channel. But before we talk about your channel, we do have to know, how long of a distance did you have to come to travel to get here?
I had to go from my house to the airport. I went the night before, stayed at the airport, hotel by the airport, and then traveled all day from Seattle to where'd I go in Texas? Dallas. Yeah. Dallas, Texas, and then I got the next flight, Dallas, Texas to Knoxville. Then I rented a car, and then it was around 10 o'clock at night, and I got here at midnight. So, a full day.
Wow. And so,
And it's worth it.
That's dedication right there.
so if you were to say what your favorite trip was that you did a video on, could you let us know what it is?
One of my favorite trips, does it have to be like with Paxlot? Christy?
No, what he's doing is he's blocking the smoke.
Blocking the smoke.
Oh,
It's
that's-
going across
oh, it is?
the
Okay.
Yeah,
screen.
the screen.
Oh, does it give a nice atmosphere?
It's the Smokies, but we don't want smoke in your video.
I know.
Just don't fall backwards.
Well, I had a really great time with Steve and Christy. Last year I went up to the Uintas. The probably maybe what you're asking, or what I'll say is my first solo backpack trip. I went up in the North Cascades, and it's kind of hard for us because we don't have a lot of place that I know of that you can go without a permit. The places I want to go, you need permits. And so you don't really know until that day or the day before when you get a permit. And during the summer, there's been a lot of wildfires. But there was so also, I don't ever really know. I can't plan like 2 weeks ahead. I'm definitely going that day. But I was hoping to, and it worked out that I could go. And it was just really special for me the first time that I went on a backpack trip by myself, and I felt confident. It was part of the PCT. It was at the North Cascades up to Cutthroat Pass. It was about a 6 or 7 mile hike up, There's no water available, so I went dry camp, and it just gave me a lot of confidence that I could be able to do that by myself. So that was kind of special for me.
Nice. One of the things, videos that you did that I remember, because it happened in my lifetime, was the Mount St. Helens,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so, but now what I
What I try and do too with my channel is show some of those areas, and I think it was around the 40 years that Mount St. Helens had erupted in 1980, so it was probably 2020 or whatever. Is that the right?
Yeah.
20, 40. Okay. Yeah, it's been really interesting for me going down to Mount St. Helens because the plants and flowers have been coming back. There's still a really wide blowout area from where the volcano erupted, but it is very impressive to watch that footage, and then it's kind of also refreshing to see the life coming back so quickly.
and so
I'm happy you like that one.
yeah. One of the things I do like about your videos is you point out and you put the names of the different animals. You identify the animals or the plants or anything of that nature. So I hold you and put you on a pedestal, and I sure hope whenever we go hike you could point out and name some of the things I asked you to name.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you that I try. I don't know all of the plants and birds and stuff, but I do. And I know some of them, and each year I try and learn one or two new trees, and I try and learn some new things while I'm out hiking to try and like challenge myself. But I do try and double check, and if I've ever made a mistake, I'm really open to people telling me that I had misidentified something. One of my daughters is really good with birds, so sometimes I'll like send her a photo and ask her for like a second opinion, and so it's kind of nice to have a collaboration. But yeah, let's go hiking again, and we'll look for some flowers.
And this will be the last thing that I ask you is you started a series recently. It's the trails for the accessible for the handicap. Could you tell us a little bit about why you did that and how's that coming along with your channel?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. I was really touched because I had done a video at one of the trails at Mount Rainier, and a viewer had messaged me in the comment section, and they said, I use wheels, and is there any access? Because the place that I had accessed the trail, it was very steep, at least 15 or 20 steps straight up to access the Blacktop Trail to go see one of the vistas. It's called the Nisqually Vista and the Nisqually Glacier. And I told her, I don't know, but I'll check. So I contacted the Park Service and I asked about that. She's from out of state, and so she was going to visit, and so I was going to see what I could do to help. So what they told me is there's another place where there's like a ramp that a person who uses wheels can go that way. So I was able to then message her back and tell her which way she could access the trail. And that made me really a little bit more sensitive that not everyone is able to access the trails the same way that we do. And I got a book online called, now I can't remember exactly, but it's called Accessible Trails or something in Washington. And so I started looking through there, and there are some, I'm not going to remember exactly, but there's the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so once that was passed, maybe in the 90s, someone can correct me if that's wrong, but Washington hikers or something checked out a bunch of trails, and they tried to give some information so that people who have any limited access, parents with kids in wheelchairs or people who use wheels, could get out and enjoy nature just like other people who are a little bit more physically able and able to hike. So I wanted to start, that got me thinking more, and so I had bought that book, and then I started trying to do some hikes and explaining some of the resources that were available on the hikes, whether it was an ADA Then they have ramps for the wheelchair to be able to get up onto like the sidewalk. They have accessible toilets at the trailhead. And then they also have a nice smooth like path for a person to get out to like overview. And there's one of those up in North Cascades, Washington Pass Overlook, I think is the name of it. And so that's just one of the things I have in the back of my mind, that trying to help people. When I want to be encouraging other hikers, I want to be encouraging lots of people and families and seniors, you know, so if there's benches and stuff available, that'll help them. One thing I'd just like to add as I'm wrapping up, there's a really great organization in Washington called Washington Trails Association, WTA.org. And I put the link to that in a lot of my videos. There is a new program through that organization. It's online, and they have a new sorter for hikes called Wheels or Wheelchairs or something like that. So anyone who wants to check out what hikes are available, they're updating it all the time. And they have a section on that website for trip reports. So people who have done a hike, like say today I did a hike here at the park by Deep Creek, I could go on there and I could explain what was on the hike, if there's any blowdowns or something, and that would be like for a normal hike. But on one of these accessible hikes, they could also say things like if there's rocks or roots or things like that, things that maybe I wouldn't necessarily think to pay attention to. Like a curb could be something that might stop someone from even being able to access the trail. And the other thing, I had met somebody whose wife was in a wheelchair, and what also I have in mind is even access to the trailhead. A lot of our trails in Washington, you need to go on a logging road to get up to the trailhead, and so I'm trying to pay attention and notice that too, if there's trees overhanging and if it's a steep grade or something like that. So thanks for asking about that. I'm really happy about that series.
Great. Well, Jennifer, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me this weekend, and thanks for our horseback ride. That was so fun.
That was.
And thank you for the interview. I greatly appreciate your time.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for all your, that made me cry. I appreciate your friendship.
I appreciate your friendship too. Thank you.
Thank you.